it's really exciting. I mean, there's always something going on. One thing that I find really exciting about it is that, you know, right here in Roncesvalles, there's a strip of clubs, musical clubs, that have music, live music every night. Like the local has music every night on Friday. Across the street's Gate 403. Up the street is Hughes Room. You know, there's just a variety of places. The Interstudio down the street has Alec Fraser and Mike Daly playing, and it's just a variety of different places that showcase music. But you go a little bit further south, and you got Parkdale. You got places like Not My Dog in Tennessee. There's all kinds of clubs along there, and then you go further north up into the Junction, and you get that whole scene up in there, the Axes and Hole in the Wall, 3030, and the Junction City Music Hall. And then you go a little bit this way, and you get Ossington, and that, like, it's just a hub. And a lot of the bands, like myself, we circulate and sort of play in all of these clubs all over the place, and you know, it's a $10 taxi ride, and you've got, like, I don't know, 6 gigs in a month, all with, you know, walking distance from your home, or just like a super short taxi ride. So it's kind of exciting. Like, Toronto does offer a lot of musical opportunities, for sure. Well, it's funny, I get asked that quite often when people haven't heard my music. You know, they hear that I play a dobro, so it gets assumed that I play blues. And the stuff I do is kind of bluesy, but I don't actually play traditional blues. You know, I play a slide on a dobro, but it's more, you know, based within the music that I grew up with, which is based within, my mom listened to the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, she loved Elvis, Chris Christopherson, Charlie Pride, and my dad loved Johnny Cash and Hank Williams and Hank Snow. So I got that fused. But when I grew up in northern BC in this small little community called Kitamaat, you know, when we were growing up, it was like heavy rock. I grew up listening to Led Zeppelin and Kiss, and then went into heavy metal through the 80s. I went to college in Vancouver. I went to university, and I got turned on to people like Bob Dylan and Tom Waits and Nick Cave. And that expanded my idea of what music was and what popular culture was. I went through a jazz phase, I went through a classical music phase. Like, it's just been a variety of things. You guys can just walk through it. Yeah. Just quickly. So yeah, I just got a wide variety of different styles of music. And then when I started to play my own stuff, it was quite funny. I got my first acoustic guitar, and I'm sitting with my brother. And I started just writing something. I wrote my first song, and it sounded like an old country folk thing. And I almost had a breakdown with my brother. I said, well, we grew up on heavy metal. What am I doing writing stuff like this? You know, and we kind of laughed about it. And I kind of cried a bit. And it was kind of funny, but then I realized, you know, I was influenced heavily by the music that surrounded us when we were growing up. So now the stuff that I do embraces all of that, you know, so it can't really be classified. So when people ask me now, what kind of music do you I just tell them it sounds exactly like Arthur Renwick. Well, I'm a visual artist as well. Like, I make art. I've done that for many years. So it's actually the reverse. If I couldn't make art, what would I do instead? I would make music. I was a professor for 12 years at university, worked at University of Guelph, OCAD University. I worked as a curator at different museums. I was a minister for the arts for many years, and I got extremely burnt out, and I thought, all right, I just turned 50. What do I want to do with my life? Well, I want to do what's always made me happy. It's like making music, so that is what I'm doing. Music is my choice. There really is nothing else. Cool. Well, you know, I host this event every Friday down in Parkdale. It's this Friday night live music thing that I do at a place called Amigos. They hired me to start up some Friday night music thing. They didn't have music there before. So what I've been doing is like bringing in a different guest every week. And these are the people that I'm listening to. I'll be making music with them. So recently we had Brent Thomas Diabo, who just moved here from Ganawagi, from Montreal. He lives here now. He's fantastic. I mean, he should be on your list for people to look at. Tanya Filipovich was there recently. Derek Down dropped by. He was just on David Letterman, by the way. It's amazing. There's a lot of local performers. Chris Stagg has come in. I used to do it with Michael Keith. Who else do I listen to? There's just such a long list. Christine Schmidt, who books the Mondays here, she was down there doing that. Darcy Goods, I've started up a project with her. We're called Cowboy Crashing. Sean Pynchon, I do a duo with him called Lost Dobros. We're playing tonight out in the Danforth at the Relish. There's just a long list of people that I know from being in the scene. Like Alec Fraser's down the street; he does a weekly thing. I listen to him quite often. So it's mostly I like to go seek out live music and things that are happening in the neighborhood, and that's basically what I do. Now, so I was thinking about it, wondering about whether to play one song or just do a little medley of stuff. But to give an example of different styles of music, I've got this one song called Hell's Gate Train. So while I'm playing, like one thing that I got to show you is that I started off on drums and bass, so I like to just do a variety of rhythmic things with the low winds, but also do at the same time do that. And I've got this kick that I use on the stage as well. I don't know if you can get that in the shot, but it's a license plate attached to a board, and I plug it in, and then it gives a big John Bonham kind of kick in the stomp. So sort of have all kinds of things going at the same time while I'm singing. There's that kind of stuff, but I've also got some. Just sort of a variety of things where there's different vibes and different stories attached to each one.